Somebody last week, I said, what are you dragging me into? I left engineering at least 5 years back. Yeah, now I am more of an administrator of an MBA college. We are trying to set up one. I don't even come from the PSU setups. But then I try to be as relevant as possible. Now I think I'll interpret the question in a bit differently. Now, can engineers catapult India's growth story? I think they already have. Because most of the people who are leading India today happen to be engineers. So possibly this is not a relevant question which I would address. I would rather move it more in terms of how can engineers catapult India's growth story. Now again, I guess I'll go by what the professor had to say, is that it is not about engineers. I guess it is more about engineering. And engineering as a science needs attention, and I am totally in favor of that argument. Now I will come up with a small antecedent as to what my thoughts on this would be. Now the problem is most of engineers, including me, are accidental engineers. I became an engineer because my neighbor became an engineer. So when my father said, what should you do? I said engineering because the bhaiya was already in an engineering college. And I said, भैया करते हैं तो हम भी करेंगे. कहाँ जाओगे बेटा? तो IIT सुना है अच्छा है, वहीं चलते हैं. ठीक है? हाँ, somehow you made it through and you go on. And then what to do? अच्छा, Tata Motors gives a good job, engineering job. Let's do. What do you do? क्या करेंगे? तो when I went there, I went to my GM. बोला कि sir, I'm from IIT Kharagpur. I have some good distinctions. Give me the most challenging job. He said that innovation kar loge? Yes sir. And I entered the R&D team of Tata Motors Jamshedpur. My job to come late night when a new truck was launched, typically Eicher Motors. Okay. I'll have a truck in front of me. My job was to supervise the disassembling of that entire truck and figure out what they have changed and then suggest what I could do to improve the Tata truck. And this is the most innovative thing that I ever did. And now the problem is, then I figured out that what am I doing? See, if reverse engineering is the way ahead, then maybe we should talk in terms of reverse engineering as a specific discipline, okay, and not engineering. But essentially I figured out that most of the R&Ds, and then I moved on to a few other companies, and everywhere the R&D happened to be the same. Figure out what the other one is doing. Okay, and figure out how you can adapt and modify things. Now, but once I changed gears and then I moved on to management, I realized how dominant engineering thinking has been in our education. For example, I was having a small conversation with our chancellor, before he even started this initiative, and he said that why don't you offer specializations? And I said that, sir, if management is about generalization, what is the need of a specialization? He said that everybody has it. So I said that give me a university in US which has it, and nobody has it. Right? So then I realized that why did this come up? See, it comes up because there is a discipline of engineering called power technology, instrumentation engineering, mechanical engineering, and because it is in engineering and which is the gospel truth for us, it has to be replicated also in management. And if that is the way things are getting viewed, then it is an indication of how prevalent the engineering thought process is in our mentality. And we struggle to move beyond it, frankly. While yes, I do say that needing of boosting of innovations, more research output is necessary. But then it cannot happen without a specific impetus from the industry. And see, end of the day, today everybody wants to be an engineer, but nobody wants to be in the profession of engineering. Once you have graduated from the BTech, your next step is to get into some IIM, some Harvards, some Stanfords, and become an MBA, because nobody wants to do the dirty job. And engineering today remains a dirty job. And therefore, unless there is a larger systemic intervention which is enforced by the corporates, which says that if you are an engineer, there is a career path for you in engineering beyond reverse engineering. Okay. Till that point, I do not think engineering will take precedence of our growth story. The second thing is that because of a lot of explosion in the education systems, a lot of it has become easy today to acquire an engineering degree. It has become today easy to acquire an MBA degree. And end of the day, if I take my job today as in the engineering field with an MBA is equal to that of a diploma maybe 20 years old back. Degrees and their requirements have changed, but the basic nature of job hasn't. MBA with an IIT graduate with an MBA from IIM's in an operations job does the same job that my father did as a diploma 25 years old back. Now therefore, if there is an innovation required, while there is an innovation required, an innovation is required at a mentality level. An entirely different thought process has to set in if we have to, and a reconceptualizing of the entire engineering system, not just innovations, not just the people who are innovating, not just the career tracks, the entire ecosystem has to be geared up and thought differently. I guess I will end with that.
As Professor Pandey has to leave, I would request Ravi to thank him with a small citation which he has prepared.